The message you're about to hear will position you to live life to the fullest with actionable insights and strategies. Now, Abraham Owoseni.
I officially welcome again Dr. Abraham Owoseni.
Thank you so much, Nike.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Nike, for having me. I'm excited to be on this episode of the True Voice.
It's a good thing to have you. It's a good thing to have you again on this podcast.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Appreciate it.
We'll be talking on something young people crave for, and that is life skills. And so we'll be talking about 3 important life skills that we all need to live a fulfilled life. So let's start by explaining, sir, can you tell us what exactly do you mean, or when we say life skills?
Okay, fantastic. I love this because, this is my forte. For over a decade, I've been speaking and training young people and those who work with them on life skills, right? And so I'm always excited to talk about life skills because I see them without bias. I see life skills as the predominant skills, right? And I'm going to explain why. Life skills are basically non-technical skills, right? Life skills are non-technical skills. The same vein we have technical skills, we also have non-technical skills. For example, most people call them soft skills, right? But UNICEF calls them life skills, right? And I go with that because there's nothing soft about them. These are core skills that can help you to navigate life. What life skills do basically is that they help us to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. That's what life skills, that's what they do, right? And so what I did, some years back was that I created, a curriculum for life skills education. And I did an A to Z of life skills for both teenagers and young adults, right? And so I created skills for each alphabet from A to Z. And so in total, you can imagine how many you have. That's about how many? 52. Amazing. So the idea is that as a young adult, there are basic core life skills you must acquire and put to work if you must be able to navigate and deal effectively, meet the challenges of life and be able to surmount them. So today, when you look at some of the challenges going on in town, yes, life will come with its challenges, but the point is you can be prepared ahead of time to surmount whatever challenge comes the way, to overcome whatever challenge comes along the way. That's what life skills do. They prepare us, they equip us to deal with these challenges when they come without backing down or giving up, but living through life successfully and fulfilling. That's what they do.
That's deep. That's deep. Are there some selected kind of people or category of people that have only this soft skills or life skills?
Okay, actually, everybody has equal access to acquiring, and making use of these life skills. It's not a prelude of a particular sect or whatever. No, everybody has access to it. But the thing most times is that what I've found over time, with my work with young people is that, also with the design of the society, parental coercion, peers and pressures, there is much emphasis on technical skills. Technical skills are amazing. I have technical skills myself. Everyone should have technical skills. Technical skills are what we talk about. They're like, I call them the hand and the head skills, right? They are the hand and the head skills. So, if you have a technical skills, most times you hear people say, oh, go and get a skill, Have you heard people say that before? And when they are saying that, most times they zero down the skill they are referring to be a vocational skill, a skill that has to do with the hand. Go learn carpentry, go
Yes.
learn culinary.
Yes.
I mean, so you that's the mindset most people have once they hear the word skills, and that's not bad. But again, that's not the complete that's not the complete skill set. In the skill set, in the skill set framework, we have technical skills. Technical skills are the hand and the head skills. So most times we learn them from our cognitive, our development, from formal schooling, non-formal schooling, and all of that, which is great. But guess what? What will make your technical skill? What will make your technical skill different from every other person is where your life skill comes in. And so you can have 3, 4, 5 people have the same technical skills. 3, 4, 5 people can have the same technical skills, but you find that they are leveraging that skill in different ways. Why? Because they have plugged in another dimension to the skill framework, which is what we call life skills. And so in life skills, you talk about the art skills. They are in the arts. You may not see them physically. It's not like a physical demonstrable skills you see in technical skill. It's not by someone sweating and running before it's a skill. So I used to say this that the evidence of a skill is not in knowledge, right? But in actions and behavior. That is the evidence of a skill. It's not in knowledge, right? So life skills, when you begin, for example, if you say you are skillful in goal setting, it should show in your actions and behavior. If you say you are skillful in presentation and public speaking, it should show you in actions and behavior. Although we can't touch life skills, it's not like woodwork, it's not like engineering that you can touch, but they show in our actions and behavior. That's how life skills work. And it is the blend of life skills together with your technical skills that makes you a complete professional, a complete young adult, right? Without the technical skill, without the life skills, you find that although you have the technical skills, but you're not making the best use of them enough, right? And so today we talk about a number of challenges, barraging young people, underemployment, unemployment, right? Of course, I have my bias to that. I feel there's nothing called unemployment, right? But again, hopefully we'll get there to another day. Now, you find a number of issues around, different issues, suicide, come and name it. Many issues are going on with young people. But these technical skills we learned in school couldn't help out. And so we needed another framework of skills to help us out. And that is the emphasis of life skill. You talk about critical thinking, right? You talk about communication. You talk about etiquettes. I mean,
sorry to cut you in. Sorry to cut you in, Dr. Owoseni.
Yes, please.
So it's like we're already delving into the topic.
Okay.
Are we? All right. So I just want to officially just I like the flow. I like the flow. So let's just move on and let's talk about it. Yeah, the important life skills young people need to live a fulfilled life. Okay. So you can proceed from where you stopped, sir.
Now, thank you for that, Nika. I mean, so what you're doing on this platform, on this particular episode, is that we are literally, streamlining. Okay, what life skills do we need to live a fulfilling life? I mean, so I've done a lot of training and coaching for young adults on life skills for perhaps employability, or life skills for high performance, workplace effectiveness, and the likes. However, our focus is on what you caption the title, life skills for living a fulfilling life. And you see, we may not have all of the time, but we're just going to talk about 3 most important one of them, right? Now, I also learned something from skills, Nike. I learned that every skill is upheld by principles, right? Every skill is upheld by principles. If you do away with the principles, the skills will come down crashing. And so when you see anybody demonstrating a skill, whether technical skill or life skills, it's because they're actually obeying some set of principles. And so that actually makes it easy for anybody to learn a skill. You want to learn a skill, Just learn the principles behind the skills. That makes it easy for just anybody to learn it, a skill. So, for example, we will walk through on some of these principles behind each skill, the three skills we'll be talking about. But you see, I want to say something. I want to say something quickly about a fulfilling life. You know, I know it's not a common thing in the world of young people today. I mean, you don't need to tell me. I know. I know because not many young people are thinking of that word, fulfillment. Many think more about their money, fame, popularity. I mean, and the
And it's
likes.
beyond that.
Now,
It's beyond that. Fulfillment is beyond that.
you see, but fulfillment talks about the fact that, number one, you are not here on your own, right? And so the person who sent you wants you to meet certain things, and he wants you to meet certain requirements. He wants you to make him proud of you. And so it's not about you alone. I mean this is a should I call it a very gray area people at least learn about. You see, I hear people say, "Oh, it's my life. Leave me. I want to live it. Abraham, it's my life." I hear a lot of that. But I found that it's actually not your life. You are just living it out. It's not yours. Because one of the things now, I mean, one of the things about fulfillment is that you want to live full. You look at the root word of fulfillment. You see the word full. So many people
Full and filled.
Thank you so much. Full and filled. So I see many people. I was discussing with someone, many years back. It was very elderly. I was saying, Abraham, you're very lucky. You started early, XYZ, and all of that. And then, when I think about it, I don't believe in luck. I believe in principles, right? And you see, there were some principles I was privy to, and I think I engaged, right? One of them is what we're talking about, fulfillment. When I made one of my career decisions, as a young adult, one of my earliest career decisions, I met one of my mentors several years after, and he said to me, Abraham, you made the right choice. Many young people would have gone for money first, but you made the right choice. You were thinking about this. And you see, fulfillment says live without withholding anything. Don't hold back anything. The blessed memory of Mouse Muro, we always say, die empty. Don't give the grave anything you came with. Die empty. But you find that many people at 50, at 60, that's where they have the highest regrets of life. At 70, the highest regrets of life. And we as young people, we have the opportunity at 25, at 35, at 45 to learn ahead. And what are we learning about? You see, there are some words that they paint the highest form of regrets. When you hear someone saying things like, I could have, had I known, only if I should have. Those are words of regret. But again, for us as young adults, we don't want to wait, and we don't even want to ever say those words. We want our testimony to be like Paul in scriptures, who said, I have fought the good fight. I have run the race. Nothing is left of me. Can you see that now? That's the concept of living full, living a fulfilling life. You serve the world with everything that God has sent you to do. I mean, if you recall this story, this parable Jesus shared in scripture, he saw a fig tree and he cursed the tree. Why? Because the tree was not bearing fruit. I could just put that in context in today's world, that possibly the fig tree wasn't living out its purpose, because his purpose was to bear fruit, and Jesus cursed it. And so I've also observed that many people perhaps have heard about fulfilling and fulfillment as concepts, but are still not living the life of fulfillment yet. right? And what I found most times is that, that there are things that they are, what would I call it now? They are more of like, they keep us as a form of a trap to living a life of fulfillment. One of them is what I call the trap of survival, right? The trap of survival. You find a number of young people, because yes, survival is good. We must be able to feed. We must be able to meet basic needs. We must be able to, have enough resources to meet and service our needs. That's fantastic. However, survival becomes a trap when it's traded for a dream. So, the full picture is that if what you're doing it without fulfilling a dream you have always had, without fulfilling the mission God has always sent you to do, and you are doing another thing just because of the needs, then that's a trap. In the economic world, they call it the rat race. I was discussing with somebody, some days back actually, and I was just asking him, "Hey, bro, how have you been?" And he says, "Well, I've been trying to meet ends meet." And I was surprised. He said, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm trying to meet ends meet." And then I told him, "Will they ever meet? Will they ever meet?" So that's the concept. That's I don't want to use the word deception, but economists have told us that human needs are insatiable. The meaning is that they will never be met. Yes, even if as much resources you have, there will just be another need, another need, another need. And so the point is not to run after the needs. The point is to run after the mission. Running after one's life mission. What about, think about it this way. I want to present to you a double edge, and the double edge is this. How about if you run about with your mission, and in the same vein, your needs are met, than running just to meet the needs? Which one will you pick? Think about it. Think about it. And so I found that as a major trap that hinders many people from living a fulfilling life. Right? Another trap that hinders many young people from living a fulfilling life is what I call the trap of expectations. Oh, what will people say? Oh, what will my friends say? What will my parents say? What will my colleagues say? It's a trap as well. Because when you look at it, it's close to the third thing I want to share right now, talking about the trap of competition. When you look at it, your life is not a competition to any other person. Your life is as unique as you, right? It's as unique as your fingerprint. It's as unique as everything about your makeup, right? And many people sometimes have found that unconsciously we run into a trap of competition, and it has happened to me as well. Even as simple as other areas of life. I was driving the other day, and guess what happened? I just, drove past a junction, and, this bus behind just, zoomed past me, and, it was going ahead of me. And unconsciously, guess what happened? Unconsciously, I started racing after the bus. I felt, oh, why will you, race after me? I started racing after the bus for almost a kilometer. I never knew what I was doing until we got to the next junction, and it dawned on me that, hey, I've been running after this bus. I don't even know the driver from anywhere. I've never met him anywhere. And it dawned on me that, oh, that is how many people have actually been living life. Living life in competition to X person, to Y neighbor, to Z colleague. Living life in competition. This is something to think about. Many people say, jokingly or not jokingly, they say, oh, Mr. Abraham, I want to be like you. When I grow up, I want to be like you. You hear many people say things like that. And I keep saying, oh, why do you want to be like me? Why do you want to be like me? What will happen to you? Why will you be like me? Why? Why? You are better being yourself than being me. Why be like me? Don't be like me. Be yourself. Be you. What will happen to you? And so you find that even although some people have an idea of a fulfilling life or what fulfilling life should be, but still not able to live a fulfilling life consciously. Some are waiting for validation. Someone should approve of me. Approval. Oh, am I good enough? Oh, am I the best for it? Right? Some are waiting for qualification. Or some are waiting for perfect conditions. I found this to be some major traps that have hindered many people from living a fulfilling life.
So let's just go straight to
Yeah.
the 3 important life skills I need and other young people need to live or live in a fulfilled life, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
awesome. Thank you, Nike, once again. Okay, so let's take the first skill. These are 3 important skills to living a fulfilling life. The first one is what I call self-awareness and self-identity skill, right? Um, the second one, I'm going to just mention them and then we'll talk about them briefly. The second one is what I call, the second one was what I call purposeful living skill, right? And the third one is what I call goal setting and actualization skill. Now, when you look at those 3 skills, you find if continuum flow. The first one talks about who am I, self-awareness. Purposeful living skill talks about why am I here, right? And then when you look at goal setting and actualization, it talks about, okay, how do I get my mission fulfilled? And so those three skills will give a flow, and that's why they are one of the most important skills I sense at this season will help any young person to live in a fulfilling life.
And I would like to hear more about it. And you spoke about the principles that guide this life skills you just mentioned.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that. So each, like you just rightly mentioned now, each skill is upheld by principles. So let's take the first one, for example, self-awareness and self-identity skill. One of the things that comes to mind is in the words of Socrates. He says, "Man, know thyself." I mean, that's the root of living. Know yourself. Who am I? And most times people just relegate this question to, yes, just your name. Yes, I know your name, but beyond your name, who are you? And so the pitfall of not knowing who you are is that over time, unknowingly or knowingly, society will give you a label that is not who you are. You see it now. And I've also found that you are who you are because of why you are. I'm going to say that again. You are who you are because of why you are. The meaning is that who you are, your makeup, your wiring is actually unique to your purpose as well. So I once read Mason when he said most people live their entire lives as strangers to themselves. And this is actually thought provoking. Like I was sharing earlier on, people are trapped based on competition, people are trapped based on comparison, people are trapped based on survival living, people are trapped based on name it, people are trapped. And so you see two things will happen if this skill is not mastered. One is that you find that you're just trying to be something you are not. And then you also find that you're trying to do something you're not supposed to do. And then now I'm going to talk about the principles of this skill, which, like we shared. I was sharing earlier on that some people say I want to be like you when I grow up, and the issue I find the issue I find with that is that I get to wonder, okay, so what happens to you if you be like me? Then you will be missing. Your you is unique to you. That's your design, right? And so Simon Sinek puts it this way. He says, when working hard for something you don't care about is what people call stress. Working hard for something you like is what people call passion. And so you find that people say, I'm stressed out, I have a lot of burnout. I mean, that may likely be an indicator that you have not mastered yourself, your wiring. Because you're meant to be thriving, you're meant to be thriving, not even striving. You just keep, it's like you are in your habitat. Right? So it's not even about biological stress or stress due to pressures. We're talking about, from what you do, you should be fulfilling about it. You should make you feel so much joy. Now, look at this.
Find joy in it.
Exactly. This is one of the principles of this skill. I call it the number one is the principle of wiring. When you look at the field of electrical engineering, one of the things they do, especially when it comes to residential housing and all of that, electrical wiring, is that they connect all of the wires in the house, and all of the wires, you may see each wire. Some may be as conduit, so you may not see them, but suddenly you just find that you put on the switch and the light comes on. How come? It has been connected to a wiring, and also the wires have been connected to another source. So the source of the power came into the building, and from the building they distributed it. So they have what we call distribution board. In the distribution board, they distributed the power that came into the house into different parts of the rooms, and everywhere to supply the power. And so what God did is that God made us in a particular wiring to distribute all of the power, all of the great things and greatness He has put inside of us. But the issue most times is people are not aware about this wiring, right? They despise the design, and they want to compare to another person whose design is not the same. Again, I found that the designer made the design in a certain way so as to accomplish a certain purpose. So you find that the design of an iPhone is different from the design of another brand
on Android.
or Android. It's totally different. It's just to suit the purpose. Now, talking about wiring, wiring is, there are different wires inside our beings as creations that God made. So just like the electrical wiring is different wires distributing the power, there are different wires God has put inside of us that you need to be aware of. If you keep living without your consciousness of these wirings, you won't be able to make the best of life, not to even talk about living a fulfilling life. Now, so one of my mentors were sharing some days back, and he said to me that we were talking about something, and he said to me that, Abraham, man is like a work of art. All of these elements, all of your wiring, once you put all of your wirings together, they will bring out the best in you. All of your wiring, we're like a work of art. So, for example, your personality, that's one of the wires God has passed inside of you. What is your personality? You don't need to compare your personality to another person. The kind of personality you have is part of your makeup. So I'm not an extrovert. Although when I'm doing certain things, people think I'm an extrovert. Again, you look at it. So if I'm not speaking, I'm quiet, I'm listening. But suddenly when I get a mic or I have a session or whatever, people think I'm just an extrovert because I'm thriving while doing that. And so I'm not the outgoing kind of person. I've just found that in my wiring. So I know the things I will thrive into. So if you're asking me to head a group, to head a team, to mobilize people to go to XYZ, yeah, well, I may not too thrive in that. But if you ask me, you just give me some things to do, some strategy work to do, some thinking work to do, I can sit down and focus on that and give the people that will go to the team on the strategy. It's about knowing your makeup. Now, one other wire that goes into us as humans is what we call temperament, just a subset of personality. And so, one of the beautiful works in this, in the field of, temperament is the work done by Tim LaHaye. Many people have seen his work. Tim did a fantastic work, especially in one of his books.
Why you act the way you do.
The way you act, spirit control, temperament. If you have not read those two resources, please go get them as well, right? No, so Tim tells us that, hey, some people are choleric. I'm going to ask you, Nike, to just guess, which one is mine. Some people are phlegmatic, right? Some people are melancholic. Some people are sanguines. And it doesn't even end there. We found that there are about 12 blends. I mean, You have a primary temperament and a secondary temperament. So,
Yes, secondary.
so your primary could be a sanguine, and your secondary maybe phlegmatic, as the case may be. So you
Yes.
have call phleg, call mel, call
Yes,
sand, sand
yes.
call, sand phleg. I mean, it goes on and that. They call it the 12 blends. Now, the beauty of knowing your temperament again helps you to know certain characteristics about your makeup. And so it helps you to know if you are, a very, a person that gets easily angry, or a person that, you're just observant. When you go through, you can even do a search online. You find a number of, online resources that will give you, a worksheet to do to know which is your primary temperament and your secondary temperament, right? And so let me just ask Nika if she can guess what is my primary temperament. Can you do a guess?
Yeah. Should I say melancholy?
Well, you were close. So melancholy is my secondary temperament. So I'm a call male, right?
All right. Okay. So you're choleric.
I'm a choleric to the core. Yeah, I can be a workaholic. I'm so focused. Sometimes if I'm not done with a task, I may not eat until I'm done with it. So I set a goal to until I'm done with this, I'm not doing this. So you see, those are some examples of characteristics of your temperament. Once you find it, that's part of the wiring that God puts in you. Find which one is yours. You see, the beautiful thing about the wirings is that they are natural. And once you find them and you thrive with them, you align with them, you easily thrive. You just need to align with them. Although there are weaknesses to temperament, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt there are weaknesses to temperament. That's why understanding the weaknesses also will help you to know the places you can delegate. So if I know this is my weakness, I'll delegate that part, right? If I know this is my weakness,
that's just it.
I mean, that's the beauty. Are you seeing the beauty of self-awareness now? Now, one other wire, I talked about personality. That's one wire that God passed in us. Another wire is temperament. One other wire God passed in us is what is called passion. Passion, right? You're not always enthusiastic about many things, but some things, picks up your fancy so much. That's your passion. It may be a field. What field picks up so much of your interest to study about, to know about, or what course, picks up so much of your burden? When I see young people not living, I see, a 35-year-old man, I see, a 20-year-old chap, I see an 80-year-old lady, misusing time, misusing life, spending, indulging some activities that is denying them of the best use of the seasons of life. Literally, I begin to cry on my inside because that's a burden for me. I found it to be my passion. And so I'm passionate about youth development. I'm passionate about human development. I'm passionate about life skills. And so when I find, you see, your passion is a pointer to even your mission, right? And so you find that God put that passion, God put the passion in alignment to what you are meant to fulfill. Right? So today I have a call in working with young people, and one of the things I say is that I help young adults to find their essence beyond merely using their senses. I found that yes, from schooling we are taught how to use our senses as early years. We are learned about the ABC, we are learned about numeracy, we are learned about and all of those things. So great, but beyond just using your senses, can you come up either to also finding your essence and living your essence? Your essence is the point of fulfillment, right? And this principle of wiring, self-awareness will give you the direct pointer to where you are meant to play. It's no comparison, it's no competition, it's none of those things. Let me just say this last one and we move on. I also found that this looks biological and definitely we just assume, that doesn't mean. But guess what? One of the wirings God also passed in through you is what is called, we call it body composition. Your composition, right? So the colors of your eyes, the height you have, the size of your nose. Have you met some people before? And just speaking with them, suddenly you just find out that I love your smile. I mean, and you find, I mean, did the person form the smile? No, the smile came with them.
No.
Some people have
Mm.
dimples. Some people have dimples. The dimples didn't just come by, they didn't go to do it, it came naturally. The point is
Mm.
your body composition is also part of the wirings God passed through you. So guess what? You have the you have the best complexion. You have the perfect height. You have the perfect composition. Your size, you are not too slim. You are not too fat. You have the best
Mm.
mass. You have the best complexity to fulfill your mission. That's
Mm.
it's all about
Mm. Mm.
perspective. It's all about perspective. Guess what?
Mhm.
The backgrounds you have had hitherto to now, the environment you have been hitherto to now is also part of your
Mhm.
wiring. And guess what?
Mm.
The apex of this is that God put into each one potentials. I mean, that's the apex of your self-identity and awareness. If you have found other things and you don't find your potential, it's like you've actually not found nothing. Your potential is the highest treasure that God locked up within you. And so
Mm.
most times they are called potent because most times they have not been used yet. Once you begin to use
Mm.
them, they grow from being potent to being intent. And so physics calls
Mm.
that transition from potential to kinetic energy and all of the likes, right? I mean,
Wow.
I think I just want to
Mm.
say too much on this so we can move to the next skill, right? But it's about knowing
I
yourself.
was about yes, I was about asking because of our time. We're really
Yeah,
running out of time.
yeah.
I was about asking that these principles, do they apply to the other two life skills?
No, 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 no. So this principle was just for self-awareness. In purposeful living, there
Okay.
are about one or two skills. I'm just going to breeze on it. Now, let me just talk about that since you
Very,
mentioned that.
very brief, sir. Yes,
Now,
sir.
now,
Very, very brief.
so if the foundation has been done with self-awareness, that's good. If the foundation has been done, purposeful living skill is almost a walkover. If you know who you are, then you easily you
Mm.
can find why you are here.
Mm.
Like I said earlier on, God made you. You are who you are because of why you are here. Purposeful living skill simply talks about
Mm.
why am I here. And one of the first principles in purposeful living skill is what we call the principle of destiny. Everyone has a destiny. Again, you look at the root word of destiny.
Mm.
Destiny comes from this longer root word, and now we call destination. So destiny talks about the fact that
Mm-hmm.
everybody has an intended destination, right? One of my friends, Noah Toluleke, puts it this way. He says your destination is your intended destination, which has been concluded before you were included in the human race. And so
Mm.
your destination is not something about you. It's not ambition. So many people struggle between ambition and vision. The simple differentiator is this. How you can know if you're living a life of ambition is simple. Ambition most times is always about self. Me, my family.
Mm.
If you have a vision, your vision will
Mm-hmm.
transcend yourself, right?
Oh,
And so
yes. Mm-hmm.
I once read Dr. Bishop T.D. Jakes talking about this. He was talking about the fact that God is not an author of coincidence, rather is a
Mm.
sculptor of divine providence. You read a
Mm.
scripture, Nike, you read a scripture like Acts 13:36. He says, now when David served God's purpose in his own generation, he fell asleep and then he was buried. Did you see that? David served God's purpose in his generation. The breath you will have in
Mm.
the point about purposeful living skill is understanding that you are not here on your own. The breath you have in your nostril is the currency you have. I used to say this, that time is the currency you have to fulfill your mission on earth. And so after David served God's purpose in his generation, then he fell asleep and he was buried. You see it now. So
Mm-hmm.
your life purpose is the big dream where other goals and aspirations will come together to meet. You look at the life of someone like Mother Teresa. Her purpose was she wanted people to die with a smile on their faces. Wow, that was her
Mm.
purpose. And so because of that, she was involved in lots of humanitarian works, non-governmental work, charity works, feeding the poor, housing the homeless, giving care to the sick and all of that because of her purpose, right? Purposeful living helps you to understand that everyone is on a race. And so, like I was sharing the other time, I was competing with somebody. I was driving, I was competing with somebody, not knowing that, hey, I mean, until it dawned on me, we got to a junction that, hey, why have I been racing with this car? Everybody's race is unique. Paul was speaking, he says, see that you run this race with endurance, seeing that we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. Run with endurance the race that is set before you. Everybody has a race. Your race, you don't start a race, by competing. This kind of race is different from athletics. This race is that you have a destination you are running towards. That destination is your God's purpose for your life. And so every single day, you are moving in progression towards that purpose. However, there's a thin line between achievement and fulfillment. Achievement is just about ambition. Oh, I did this. Oh, I built this. Oh, I won this. Oh, I did that. Fulfillment is not necessarily about you. Like we shared, it's not ambition. It's not ambition. It's about what God sent you to do on the earth. The second principle closely to, the first concerning purposeful living skill is what I call it the sent principle. The sent principle. And this is simple, Nike. The point is that every one of us is an ambassador on the earth. We are an ambassador on the earth. An ambassador is like a diplomat. A country sends an ambassador to a foreign mission and they say, oh, represent us, do this, X, Y, Z, and all of that. Now, most times, the ambassador has a special assignment, and sometimes it could even be a temporary assignment. And when it's done, it comes back. When it's done, it comes back home. Watch this, Nike. When a person dies, that service is called homegoing service. The reason is that the person is going back to where he came from. Every one of us is an ambassador on earth. We were just sent here. We're going to leave when our mission is done. And so, living a life of purposeful living will help you to live a life of fulfillment, with the sense that, hey, I have something I'm meant to do. I have a mission I'm meant to fulfill. I'm not just here on my own self. I'm not just here to feed my family, build a house, buy a car, and just have fun. No, I have a mission beyond that. And so, when I'm done with that mission, I'm going to go back to where I'm sent. I'm just an ambassador here on earth. I was sent. I have a kingdom mission. And I need to be connected to my own mission, right? You see it now. It's amazing, right? You see, the point is, I find that the society paints it that we start living, we start going to school, and before you know, you are 20, you're 25, and then the next thing they say, get a job. Before you know it, you are in a job. And you just keep doing all of those things. Before you know, you are 60, and they say, "Oh, go retire." And then you ask, "So what have I been doing?" You see, the point is, even before you get into all of those things, they say in most countries, 18 is the year of maturity. Maturity in that sense is not even about the age or about being able to vote and all of that. Maturity is that you understand these basic skills. You understand that, hey, at that age and above, every single thing I will do, I must do it with a sense of mission. The person I must get married to, I must get married to a person with a sense of purpose. The works and the jobs I must be doing, I must do it with a sense of purpose. Every single thing. That's what purposeful living talks about. I must be intentional. The friends I will be keeping, I must keep them with a sense of purpose. That's what purposeful living is all about. It's about having an intention to every single thing you have to do. Intentionality. And so every one of us has a purpose. You have a mission. You were sent here to fulfill it. Living that out, finding that mission out, and living that mission out is a step, in living a fulfilling life. I found something about the life of Adam in scriptures. Everyone has a generic purpose, right? Our generic purpose is to serve God, worship God, and all of that. However, each one of us also has what I call specific purposes. So for someone like Adam, in Genesis 2:15, scripture records that the Lord took the man he had made. Now notice that God didn't just take a man. God took the man. So there is the man Adam, there is the woman Nike, there is the man Abraham, there is the man. So there is the man. That's a specific man. That's a specific man with a specific purpose. God took the man Adam and Planted him in the Garden of Eden. To do what? God now gave him his purpose. Hey, Adam, I'm planting you here in Eden to cultivate and to keep it. And so Adam's mission was defined. God planted him there so as to do that. Most people tell me, oh, Mr. Abraham, I've not found what is my purpose and all of that. I mean, I've done a lot of sessions on that, but we can't be able to do that. But the simple thing I found is this. Every ambassador is meant to be connected to the own mission, the own base, the country that sent you. If God sends you to the earth, you need to keep connection with him even before you can find his purpose for you. God has loaded you with great deposit, no doubt. God has loaded you with great wiries, no doubt. But he has still promised you that he's going to work with you to live a fulfilling life. He said, God will work in you to will and to do of his good pleasure. And so if it's not about whether you are good enough, whether you can do it, your sufficiency is of God. All you need is to be connected to your base. Connect to God who sent you. It will unveil to you. It says, Jeremiah 33:3, call to me, I will show you great and mighty things. So the issue most times is many young adults, we have failed to call home. We have failed to call and build a relationship with our Father. We feel, oh, well, I'm 18, oh, I'm 35, I can do it, it's my life. We take the job we like, we live where we want, we marry who we like, and we just feel, oh, it's about me. No, it's not about you. You must be connected to your base. The last skill as we round up is what I call goal setting and actualization. This skill, I mean, there's a lot about goals, all about them. But however, the principle that is unique to this is, number one, there is a principle of what I call the principle of higher order goals. Higher order goals means that you're not just setting a goal. Some people say, this is New Year. Oh, I want to do this. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. I want to do it. And that's all. No. The kind of goal, I call it, in one of my books, The Architecture of Goals. A higher order goal is a goal that is drawn from your purpose. It's not just a goal about, no. That's good, no problem. You're going to buy that. Fantastic. You don't even need to set that as a goal to buy it. You can buy it normally. But higher order goals are goals that are drawn from your life purpose. They are goals from your visions, your sub-visions. That's an higher order goal, right? And so it's like the game of football. You see, players on either side, they are playing and they are running. And most times I often think about this just as a form of imagination. Can you ever imagine a football match being played without goalposts? Can you imagine that? Even if they started a match, maybe number one, even the match will not hold. But even if they started, they didn't know that even if they started it, they didn't know that there were goalposts, and they didn't know there were no goalposts, and they started it. Guess what will happen? All the players will have run up and down, sweating, walking aimlessly, but there is nowhere for the strikers to hit the ball. That's how it is when we live life without goals. There is nowhere to hit the ball. And guess what? Even after all the exertions, the game is ended, but there's no evaluation to know which team has won. And so, goals are necessary because we are in a mission, and that mission is time-bound. You are not here forever. And so, your mission, in football, you have 90 minutes of full game. In life, God also has given you this current lifetime you have to fulfill the mission. And so, your goal-setting skill is to say, how can I achieve these milestones of my purpose and serve the world with it? That's what you're acquiring in that skill, right? And the second principle there is what I call it a model. I call it the 3M model. Most times people struggle about achieving goals because the goals were not well designed. Think about it. You find many things designed. People design, shoes are designed, phones are designed, even cars are designed, buildings are designed. But goals are not designed. We just think, oh, goals should just be, So in the 3M model, the first M is what I call mapping. Mapping is the process of designing your goals, right? There's a way you conceive your goal. You conceive it from the spirit. From the spirit, it moves to the next intermediary because man is a tripartite being. From the spirit, it moves to the soul. In the soul is where you do the next M. The next M is moulding. You mold your goal in your soul. What you do in the goal by molding is that you begin to, imagine it with your mind. You begin to write it down and vocalize it. You begin to think about it. You begin to visualize it. That's why you begin to talk about vision and goal boards, right? You begin to do all of those things in the mind. And the last M is where you actually use your body to do it, to execute it. That's where we talk about moving. So you map your goals, you mold your goals, and you move with your goals. You move with your goals using your body with focused actions.
Wow.
I mean, that's it, and that's just it. In a form of a summary. Wow. Amazing.
Sincerely, this is rich, super rich, and these are pieces of information I've not heard elsewhere, and I know it took you a whole lot to dish this out to us on this platform. Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham Owoseni. I'm really, 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 really grateful for always. Thank you for always giving us quality. Sincerely, I must say thank you for giving us quality at all times. At all times. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful, and I'm very sure that someone is listening and getting blessed and like, wow, these skills. Because I sincerely, I thought you would even mention skills like writing, listening, and all. So these are exceptional skills. They are like total. They are like all in one. They are all in one. And I like
what I did was to I have a framework for A to Z, so I only picked the letter P, and letter G, because I just found that I sense this would be most applicable to living a fulfilling life.
In fact, you did very well, sir. You did very well, sir. You did very well, sir. And especially, I would like to round up on the 3 M's, the 3 models you mentioned. That's mapping, molding, and moving. Exactly. And thank you once again, our dear listeners. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend.
You have gained insights and strategies to live life purposefully. Now is the time to take actions in the direction of your learnings. For more products, bookings, and inquiries, please visit www.abrahamowoseni.com.